The, okay, let's call the meeting to order. We have Amy, would you like to call roll, please?
Yes. Frank Baptist. Here. Steve Brown. Allison Birch. Bill Eldridge.
Here.
Elgin Hamner. Here. Luke Moody. Greg Schitt.
And for the record, Mr. Moody said he'd be a few minutes late, but it would be here. Okay, so we have a quorum, so we can move on to the minutes from the May meeting. We have a motion and second to accept the minutes. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's move on to financial reports with Jordan and Mandy, please.
All right, you should have before you the statement of assets, liabilities, and equity as of May 31st. To the total bank accounts, which I'm responsible for reconciling, they total $1,781,574.09. And they owe to the DFA for sales tax $345. Turn to the next page, you'll see the A&P's P&L for the month of May. Total revenue of $18,695.95. Expenses of $16,944.82 for a net income of $1,751.13. That is shy of the budgeted amount for the month. If you look to the next page, you'll see the A&P P&L for the 5 months ending May 31st. Total revenue of $90,374.58. Expenses of $59,585.18 for a net income of $30,789.40, which is roughly $7,500 ahead of budget through 5 months. The next page, you'll find the event center's P&L for the month of May. Total revenue collected of $64,239.60. Operating expenses of $39,260.35. There were no capital expenditures during the month of May. So the net income for the month, $24,979.25. That's roughly $15,000 ahead of budget for the month of May. You see below that, $10,000 sent over to the savings account. And from the savings account, the checking account received $2,494.78. That was a capital expenditure that was on the April report for the LED light changeout. All right, the next page, you'll see the 5 months ending May 31st P&L for the event center. Total revenue of $316,863.52. So right on the dot in terms of the budget. Operating expenses totaled $198,468.14. And then capital expenditures totaled $50,026.57 for a net income of $68,368.81. Roughly $30,000 ahead of budget for the 5 months ending May 31st. Below that, you'll see once we had our budget meeting in January, February is when we started the transfers for $10,000 per month. So you'll see 4 of those have occurred: February, March, April, May, and then from BEC savings, $50,026.57. Those should have a bracket on it. That was an incoming figure covering the capital expenditures right above that. So money goes in to the savings account, $10,000 a month, and then as capital expenditures take place, the savings account refunds the checking account. So yeah, my apology for having brackets on that $50,000 figure. That shouldn't be the case. And then finally, on the next page, you'll find the focus group P&L for the month of May. It collected $20,375.36, so right on budget. And then for 5 months, the focus group has received $98,410.22, again right on the mark. You have a small expense for, I believe, deposit slips or a checkbook one. And then the special project, the first installment of the special project, $50,000 was outgoing. So net income for the focus group account of $48,399.12. That's essentially ahead of budget by the additional $50,000 payment for the soccer complex, which we may be hearing about later in the meeting.
Right. Any questions for Jordan? Okay, Mandy?
Yes, sir. Thank you. If you will now go over to the bank account balances sheet, which is the first one in the next section.
The A&P Collections General Account ended the month of May with $9,430.59. Again, this is our sweep account. All of our collections for the month from our area businesses go into this account, and then they are split into the different checking accounts as listed below. 50% of monthly collections go into the A&P Large Project Checking. It ended the month with $2,020,922.18. This is the account at which that will make the land payment in January every year. You'll notice we've got plenty of money to be able to make next year's payment. 20% will go into the A&P Small Project Checking. At this point in time, we have $1,441,775.94. And then 10% goes into the next three accounts evenly each month. A&P General Operating Checking. At the end of the month, there was $161,239.67. The Benton Focus Group Checking ended the month of May with $705,914.03. And the Benton Event Center Operating Checking. That ended the month of May with $535,949.15. Also, there's the Benton Event Center Savings Account, and it wrapped up May with $400,927.86. If you'll go to the next sheet, you will see the collections account, and it breaks it apart by month and by the different types of businesses that submit A&P collections. You have restaurants, food trucks, motel, hotel, convenience stores, others, and groceries. The April collections received in May that are not delinquent until June, they came in at $180,551.60. Then if you'll look right below that, you can see the collections for the previous years. This was a 1.2% decrease. I wouldn't worry too much about just the 1% decrease, because that could be there were more delinquencies for this month, or maybe last year there were some delinquencies that were collected in May from previous months, and so I think 1% is probably not really much to be too terribly concerned with. Something that would be large would be like a 10% or 15%. But overall, if you look at it, our A&P collections are very, very strong. As far as delinquencies are concerned, we are in a great shape. The one business that we talked about last month, they did pay by the end of the week, and so they are completely caught up.
Okay.
There are some delinquencies. They are all 1 month behind. They will be posted in the paper as what the ordinance states that we do. Those will be posted in the paper later this week.
Questions from Andy? Need a motion to accept financials?
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, let's move on now to the funding request. The first request is it's the second reading of the Old Fashioned Day. The request is in your packet. Of course, we have Dustin Parsons here, who's the chair, if you have any questions.
Based on the discussion from last month, I feel great about making a motion. We accept the full $6,000.
Okay. And we have a second from Allison. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Dustin, we've got it funded for another year. Next, we have the AFC Benton, which is Chip here, is going to bring us an update on that. I think it's on. Top button.
I'm Chip Bosley. I'm with AFC Benton. We were here several months ago, I guess, and y'all gave us a generous donation of $50,000 to go toward the building of the fields. We have a few pictures up here on the screen right now of where we are if you have not driven down to Sunset Lake. But where we are now, all the fields are built as far as dirt work in their entirety. All the topsoil or sand is put down ready for grass to come in. It's all finished. And then there's a little short video on there of the sprinkler system is up and running. So we've got water meter, electric meter, It's all ready for grass. And depending on rain this weekend, how much we get, we're gonna start sodding next week. But I'm scared if we get 2 or 3 inches of rain like they're calling, Double Springs Sod is bringing our sod. Scott Newcomb right here in Benton is bringing sod. It's gonna take a lot of truckloads to sod. So our plans right now are to sod one of the fields and sprig the other two, since we have water coming up. We did fall a little bit short of raising our 250,000 that we were trying to get. We had one of our major players said they couldn't do it this year, and we understand that things come up and things happen. But we do have enough to sod one field and sprig the other two, so we're very confident with that happening, and we're going to be playing in August. Since then, we have actually had Hot Springs Soccer Club reach out to us, Sheridan Soccer Club reach out to us, and a lot of the people over that play at Otter Creek reach out to us that are wanting to satellite with AFC Benton. And so what that means, they practice on their home turf, which is good for our fields, but they will come and play in Benton on the weekends, which I think is excellent for the city of Benton, because they're going to have to buy gas, food, and everything else while they're here, and I think it's just a win-win all the way around. So we're in talks with those clubs right now. Where we are now, one picture showed a whole bunch of telephone poles laying out there, power poles. They have been donated to us, in-kind donation. We have another entity that is going to set the poles for us, donate all of the wire that it takes for lights to us, put them up, put cross arms on them, wire the lights up, install the lights if we can purchase the lights, and bring it right back to where our meter base is. Then we'll be responsible for the switch gear. But all of that is free of charge. I cannot believe that entity said they're going to do that, but they said they would. So we're here before you today that we sure would like to try to receive that other money for the lights, if possible. Lights are extremely expensive. I got one quote from Acuity Brands from a Bart Shelton, very nice man. Some of you might know him. He's done a lot in the city of Benton. They are way more expensive than I thought. And I was talking with him. I was like, Bart, okay, we can't do that. Please go by C.W. Lewis. Please go by Tyndall Park. Don't go by the Benton Athletic Stadium. We don't need that many lights. Let's go with something a little bit lower and see if we can reel this thing into something that we can afford and we can do. He feels pretty confident, but we are going to have to raise the funds. Even if we only at this point can light one field, we're still going to put all the poles up and the wires overhead. So all that can be temporary, so it can come down in the future if need to be. And the lights can also be moved from one location to another if need to be. So I'm here for any other questions, but would love your support on the lights. The lights would be to light our main field, which is going to be the one that's being sodded. We feel like the other two that we're going to sprig will be ready to go in August, if not September, so we can play on those. But my gut feeling's telling me that lighting for all three fields is probably going to be out of our budget. Lighting for one field, we can stomach and we can do, which will really help us. The light that casts from those other two, from the main field to the other two fields, because they're only 40 feet apart, will probably be enough, to practice that kind of thing in smaller areas, but probably not enough to have 3 games going on at one time unless we can acquire maybe another sponsor.
What's the cost?
That's-
What's the estimate for that one field, I guess? Are you giving us an estimate for one set of lights or all of them?
And I didn't get this estimate till this morning, so I haven't had time to hey, we got to do
Okay.
some value engineering. I will tell you what this one is. I'm shocked. I don't even want to tell you, but this one estimate for all 3 fields is $312,000, and that is done on a Class 4, which I learned a little bit this morning. Our high school stadium is a Class 2, so a Class 4 is about half the light. And I'm thinking, okay, we need to go to about a fourth the light and get this down. So one field is going to be roughly 100. When I spoke to him this morning, he felt like we can get one field down to 75 and maybe a little bit less for one field. And I said, okay, I think we can raise the money to do that.
We're talking about just the light, because all the other stuff that you were talking about is being donated. So we're talking about almost glorified light bulb? I mean, I'm just trying to dumb it down to non-electrical thought here.
So
That's what it sounds like.
that's why I asked him to go buy C.W. Lewis. C.W. Lewis has the old time,
Yeah.
high pressure sodium light bulbs in those, and it does a great job. What he quoted me are state of the art LED, 165,000 lumen that you're going to see on high school stadiums that are even newer than our Benton High School stadium. We can't do that. And so I wish the conversation I had with him was 2 weeks ago so I could give you a little bit more value engineering, but it wasn't. It didn't happen until this morning, and I tried to get him to do it earlier. So we are going to get that price down, and
Yeah.
we can make it happen.
Are there any other vendors that would look at doing the lighting competition?
Oh, absolutely. And I haven't got there, but
Okay.
absolutely there is. Yes, 100%. What he did provide me though was a layout of the lights, how many lumens it takes, and I will be able to use that now as a study guide to go to another vendor and say, okay, let's get some competition here and what other kind of lights can we use? So I didn't even want to bring up the price until you asked,
yeah,
but
no,
I
no,
had to because
well,
it's not even doable. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's something worth knowing. I'm just, and anybody can step in and correct me. I'm thinking from this point forward, that if we do help fund the lights, that we would probably, I don't see the city attorney here, but we'd probably have to pay that bill directly, kind of like we do for our advertising and promoting expenses. So getting an idea of what these estimates are,
Yes.
rather than us just saying, yes, we'll give another 50, we give it to you, and then you kind of go figure it out. I'm thinking it was going to probably, for transparency, it's going to have to be more of a, here's the bid, we can do it. Can we move forward? Yes. And then they'll send that invoice in to Amy, and Amy will pay it out. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So it's an exact payment. That's how I think legally
Yeah.
and transparently we would have to move forward. And that's the only reason I was bringing it up. So
In
Sure.
what?
we could get our minds around
Sure.
what to expect, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm all about the diligence you're putting in, trying to say, hey, let's
Yeah, yeah.
bring this thing back to reality here, because yeah, that's I know nothing about lights, so I'm
Well, we have,
We got- Greg?
pickleball fields.
Well, yeah.
Eventually.
That's a good point. I mean, because eventually, as we open the official soccer complex, which I do have an update on that today also.
so can
It's-
I
Sure.
interject there?
Yeah.
So by us being able to get the wooden poles and the wire donated by other entities, that's all can be removed. But if we go with some type of light that is a nice light, it belongs to you and it can be moved to another field. It can be moved to pickleball. It can be moved to tennis courts or whatever it may be because you will own them and it'll be put up in a way that it can be removed. Yes, we have. And we are trying that route also. Yes, we have. Absolutely.
That's
Yep.
good. Good. Okay. Bill, how should we move forward then?
We, looking back at the minutes from I believe our April or January meeting, we agreed to look at another 50,000 for use for lighting contention if we got to that point where, the donations would allow us to do that.
Right.
With the poles and the wiring, I think that it's got us to that point. So we just need, I guess, a motion to approve that final $50,000 paid directly to the vendor that is chosen.
Can I interject one thing?
Sure,
If
please.
it's still up for discussion? And if it's not too much to ask, if we do have to bring a bid in and y'all are gonna pay that, if it comes in at 62,000, I'm throwing another number.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we have to cap it at 50?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
That-
that's what we voted on.
Okay,
That
all right.
initial
That
meeting.
kind of set us that kind of set the perimeters, I'm afraid, back when we did it. And so,
Then I know what we have to look for.
right. And that's why I'm getting these numbers out here in the open, just so we're all transparent. We know, hey, this is
Absolutely.
where it's at. And, cause I don't know about you. I had no idea what lights would cost going into it. I mean, I don't.
I was floored. I had no idea.
I'm like, wow.
Kind of
So, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and extend the extra 50 up to the 50,000 we've already talked about to pay directly to the vendor once brought in and ready to go. Something along those lines.
Second. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, no opposed, so we're look
Thank you
forward
very-
to,
Thank you very much, and I'll bring some updates as we get them.
It's a start
oh,
point.
I mean,
Which funds does that come out of?
the,
Was we just
small project.
Small
accounts.
project?
I believe
Okay.
that's where we took the original.
I'm sorry, I should have said that.
That's perfect.
Oh, focus group, that's correction, the focus group.
Is it in?
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
Focus group? Gotcha.
It's been a long 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, we're done.
That's where the original 50. Okay, thank you, Chip. Okay, let's move on now to the report from the Benton Events Center from Nikki.
Okay, in your packet, you have your report. We ended the May meeting with 5,855 people. We had 13 events. That number is a little lower than it normally is, but that also includes Memorial Day weekend. So 13 events, just a few that I want to highlight. Again, Woodland Hills was back this year for their graduation. And right after that, we had the Arkansas State Police Awards ceremony. This is the second year that we've hosted this, and it's a great group to have in the building. And then Amplify had their team kickoff luncheon, and then you'll see down there, last week we had the Arkansas Association of County Judges Conference, which was over 900 people over basically 4 days. The parking lot was
Very full.
Yeah, and the Arkansas Association of Counties, you'll see in the next few months, and probably the next 6 months, you'll see multiple events. They're bringing in a number of their county officials to the event center. And then yesterday, we wrapped up the AASEA, which is a group of special ed educators, and that was for about 450 people. So all in total for the month, a little over 4,200 people, bringing us to 1,010,060 people. Anybody have any questions?
Okay, good job, Nikki.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move on now to the report on the development of 114 property. In our last meeting, our May meeting, we talked about we were going to go ahead and put the bid out for the dirt work. So I wanted to give you a quick update on the core permit and where we are on the dirt package for the RV park and the soccer complex. Dan with the McClellan had updated me this morning, said the Corps of Engineers is planning to put our project out for public comment by the end of the week. And of course, I believe that goes for 30 days. Is that correct, ma'am? 30 days. And once the 30 days come through with good comments, the Corps will be ready to issue the permit, and we'll be ready to go on those projects. So pretty exciting about that. He did say that the dirt package has gone out. They've advertised it once already, and will advertise it again with the opening the bids on June 25th at 10:30. I don't know if that will be in Little Rock or here. It will be here, okay? And so far, he said they have 12 plan holders, which I'm kind of, I assume that means 12 companies are looking at the plans. So a lot of interest in this project. So it's just a great opportunity to go ahead and get these projects rolling. And we look forward to next meeting. Dan will be here to give us a complete update on the project. So any questions? Of course, that I drove also went out there yesterday, and Bucky's has moved a lot of dirt. So
A lot of dirt.
pretty impressive. So we're looking forward to how that progresses on that. Mayor, would you have any comments on that, or? Okay, awesome. It's great news. So, So we'll look forward to an update, next meeting from Dan, and just look forward to some good news. Okay. Let's see, oh, the next thing we have is, AMP Marketing Committee. Steve Brown is not with us, but I'd like to take a moment to introduce, Rachel Rivers. She is our new marketing, person for the AMP Commission. Yes. And I think Rachel wanted to kind of give us a few words, or, yeah. Yeah.
Closely with the sales agency. So I have a standing meeting with them every 2 weeks to kind of review progress and, look at revisions. Thursday is our content day in Benton. So every Thursday, their creative director, videographer, and social media girl are here, and I am with them every Thursday in local Benton restaurants, businesses. So I have been helping them get into these restaurants, help restaurants understand who they are and the value of what we're doing for them. Because a lot of restaurants are very confused, So I'm helping lead that progress and speed the website along. So my next meeting with the sales agency is at their office in Little Rock. So hopefully I can see some things when I'm there. We can go over some renderings, and hopefully by our next meeting, I can present some things to you guys. So grateful to be here. Nice to meet everyone.
Okay. Thank you, Rachel. Questions, or?
No, sounds good to me.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here.
Thank
Okay, we're going on now to new business, Benton Event Center lighting system. Nikki's going to give us an update on that.
Okay, so this is kind of a new, I guess, opportunity that I don't want to call it a problem, but in the process of getting some of our new lighting schemes revised, I went to the vendor that originally installed our lighting system 12 years ago, and a lot of the replacement parts and even the programming cannot be reprogrammed. The third-party vendor that did all the programming of the lighting, so that's all of my 2x4s, my can lights, my dimmers, and even into my spotlights, is no longer available. Right now, we're not having an issue. But if anything were to happen, we would kind of be, there would be a bigger problem. So we probably, after 12 years, need to start looking at replacing that whole system. I anticipate, just based on some preliminary costs, that this is probably going to cost us over $20,000. I don't know where that is, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be north of that. So we need to look at, putting that out for bid and getting some pricing on redoing the whole lighting. So then that way, if something does go out, we can kind of get ahead of this. So.
Yes, I think we need to go ahead and have a motion to go let Nikki or work with Mandy. To
Yeah,
put it
I'll work with
forward.
Mandy to get it up, get
to get
everything
that,
in the paper.
Make a motion, we get the bidding started for the replacement for the lighting system at the Benton Event Center.
We got a second? Okay. All in favor? Motion carries. Did we say all in favor? Okay. Motion carries. Also, Nikki, I was going to let them know about the refrigerator at the,
So the refrigerator that we use in the electrical room for alcohol, it died the other day, so I had to get a new refrigerator, but I like it. It's bigger, and hopefully, it'll store more alcohol.
I got a question.
Okay.
I've been meaning to ask this. Is everything in the kitchen that we originally designed, is it still working? Ice maker, that 3-door
we
cooler?
replaced that ice maker, I believe.
Yes, we have replaced
Replace-
the ice maker.
I had a feeling. I was thinking in my mind, I'm looking at years and I'm going, you're blessed if
Yes.
that thing's still running. But the cooler, the 3-door refrigerator still going?
Yes. We've
Good
had,
deal.
we've done some just
Maintenance, yeah.
maintenance to
Yeah,
it.
but it's still going. Praise God. That's good. All right.
So, good job.
All
Thank you,
right,
Nikki.
I figured it's about time.
Okay, any other new business? Any other old business? Luke, it's your time.
Again, make a motion, we adjourn.
Second, all in favor? We are adjourned.
My next motion is gonna be, I make a motion that other people make motions